Hey guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're doing all good. Fortunately, I do have a bit of a sore throat, so I might be speaking a little bit more quiet in these videos, and I'm not going to be doing another battle report until probably Thursday. I'm going to give tomorrow the day off to just recover my voice a little bit. However, I thought I would try and pop out one more video today, and it is going to be a top 5 helpful hints for Wood Elf players. So I do have a subscriber who's been a long time subscriber actually, probably since my first week of creating the YouTube channel, who has been asking me questions about Wood Elves, how to get into playing them. He wants to hop onto multiplayer, and he really wants to start with the Wood Elves. So my main advice, obviously, is just to hop on, play some games, and see how you feel. But these are me my top, 5 hints for brand new Wood Elf players. So let's get underway, and we'll start up a little deployment and do kind of like a mock battle just against the computer, so I can make a few points. So here, let's just chuck these guys up a little bit. There. Let's move these guys here. Doesn't matter too much. We probably won't actually play the full battle. It's just mainly for those helpful hints. Just group all those guys up. Move them here. And group them. Cool. So helpful hint number 1. Surprisingly, with their name Wood Elves actually fight better in the woods. Sounds crazy, but quite a few players don't actually know this. So most Wood Elf units, if not all of them apart from some of the really big monsters, have the Forest Stalker rule. So if we look right here, the Elves of Athaloran gain bonuses to melee defense and accuracy while fighting within the forest. This is super useful and really kind of understated there. So archers who normally struggle in forest, yes, it's good cover for them, but firing out they often hit trees and other things get in the way. But fighting in the forest gives them increased accuracy. And these Wood Elf Wild Riders right here, they are perfect for fighting in the forest. So normally cavalry units or big monsters get a massive penalty for fighting in the trees. They're big lumbering beasts. They struggle amongst all these trees. So, it'd slow you down, I suppose, a bit. But these guys here, they don't get any of those minuses, only pluses. That makes the Wild Riders manage to really punch above their weight whilst hiding out in the forests. So helpful hint number 1 there, Wood Elves fight best in the woods, as you would expect. So number 2, sticking on to the Wild Riders. These guys are super mobile. I see a lot of people use them very aggressively, attacking down the flanks, using them with items such as Helmer's Discord to go for those big alpha strikes. My helpful hint number 2 is that Wild Riders can be used defensively. And I know you're probably thinking, of course, all units can be used, offensively and defensively, but these guys are fantastic at protecting units like Way Watchers. They hide in the trees, and as we said before, they don't get any penalties for finding the trees. They can pop out from ambush, they're super fast, and normally your opponent's going to be using light cavalry and so forth to try and get onto your Way Watchers and squishy archers, and these guys are the best of the best when it comes to light cavalry, and should be able to do a massive amount of shock damage and really clear up your back lines. So don't be afraid to use Wild Riders defensively as well as offensively. They can be, a great utility unit overall. Now, helpful hint number 3 is for the Way Watchers. Now, these guys do a huge amount of damage, and not only do they look very cool, and if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll definitely know looking cool is the main aspect and reason for choosing a unit. But these guys do a ton of damage. However, if we look over here, they only have a small amount of ammunition, so 23 ammunition there. That's not massive amounts of ammunition for how expensive these guys are. So you don't want to be wasting their ammo on units like Spearmen. You really want to be going for those big alpha strikes on very expensive units. Maybe, these Illyrian Reavers wouldn't be the worst, but mainly units like the Prince here and this big dragon. And the best way to do this is to take off Toggle Fire at Will. So press that button right there. It's also quite good to add in a guard mode so don't chase any units off. And of course you have Toggle Skirmish mode depending on how much micro you want to do, if you want them to run away when an enemy gets nearby or not. But I always recommend when using Way Watchers to take off Toggle Fire at Will. You don't want these guys wasting shots. So if we started this battle right now, as we can see, these Spearmen are in range. So the first thing these Way Watchers are going to do is unload a volley onto these pretty damn cheap Spearmen who are shielded. The arrows they still do a lot of damage, but you're wasting ammunition on a target you really don't want to be shooting. Instead, you'd much rather wait for this dragon to come a little bit closer and then pop him with all your shots. Every volley counts. These guys are super expensive, but do a great job. So helpful hint, there. Number 3 is going to be take off Toggle Fire at Will. Now let's get this battle side away, and I'll I'll discuss helpful hint number 4. So helpful hint number 4 is an old school classic combo here, which is the Parade of Enough Rama. So you want to go over and drop that on a unit, or looks like the dragon's going to be flying away there. Let's move these guys up, wait for the dragon to get a little bit closer before we lay our trap. So as we can see, this dragon right here just pops a little bit close. So what you want to do is drop the Parade of Enough Rama. This is a net spell, and this is going to keep this dragon in place. So as you can see, it can no longer move, and it has minus 22% missile resistance. You then use your Way Watchers to pop a few volleys in, and look how quickly this dragon gets absolutely ruined. That's about 2 volleys so far, I think. There goes in the third one, and that dragon is dead. This is an old school classic move, dropping the net down and then hitting them with this, super elite unit of Way Watchers right here. This can be done on enemy lords, heroes, and this has great sniping potential on your units. This has been used by a lot of players, kind of constantly, but I thought, just in case there are any new players who don't know about this classic combo, I highly recommend it. As you can see, we're trying to shoot this prince here, and we're doing a lot less damage just because he's managing to move and dodge a lot of these missiles. So that is my helpful hint number 4 right there. So let's end this game right here, and I'll go on to helpful hint number 5. That's going to concede defeat, very sad for my Wood Elves there. The helpful hint number 5 is a little bit of a cheat by me, as it's not actually just one thing I'm going to be showing you. The helpful hint number 5 is going to be me running over a few different items that I think are super good for the Wood Elves. So number 1 is if you want to pick Orion, right, the big beast of a man here. I believe he is in fact a demigod, big terror causer, great unit overall. But what you want to use with him is this item right here, Cloak of Isha. Now I can't stress how incredible this item is. I would take this in any matchup 100% of the time. So if we look here, once he gets below 20% health, he'll replenish hit points. That doesn't sound, too amazing, but it replenishes a crazy amount very, very fast. Plus 44% damage resistance, which is a crazy amount of damage resistance. Now this will turn Orion, who's a fairly tanky lord in his own right anyway, into an absolute beast. And this forces your opponent into so many mistakes. They see that Orion's getting low, they chuck everything in at him, and he just tanks and survives. I've had crazy battles with him before, where he's just tanking multiple units, with hardly any health left, all because of this item here. It's one of the most powerful items the Wood Elves can use, so I highly recommend it. Another good shout out is to the Horn of the Wild Hunt, which is an ability he can pop which gives a 54% charge bonus. So just before your front lines crash, or you want to use some Wild Riders with this, you pop the Horn of the Wild Hunt and you turn your units into absolute lawnmowers. They'll be tearing through the enemy super quickly. Now another shout out here is going to go to the Glade Lord. So we just saw the Glade Lady there in action. Now she does drop the Prey of Enough Rama, obviously keeping people in place and allows you to go for that huge alpha strike on a single unit. However, if going for a single unit isn't enough damage for you, I recommend going for the Glade Lord. If you chuck him on something like a dragon, then you give him this ability right here, the Helm of Discord. This gives a minus 27% melee defense and minus 26% melee attack, which is a huge debuff. And he gives this to all units surrounding him. So you drop him, you place that little Helm of Discord down, and then you charge him with a couple of units of Wild Riders. So let's just do a little mock army here. So you probably do about 3 units. You charge him with these guys who are massive, shock cav anyway. Plus their Helm of Discord, you can just delete super elite blobs of your opponent's army. Of course, this is quite risky, going for the all or nothing strike, but it does work very well with the Wood Elves. I mean, with this build, you could go, let's go a couple of units of Way Watchers as well. Cheap front line. Then you could probably add a wizard into that as well, and have a fairly decent build. So maybe just go for a branch wraith and then take off some of the spells, just to make it a little bit cheaper. Let's just go for like healing. Let's take these abilities. There we go. So that could be a fairly decent list right there. These guys hold the front line. Way Watchers do a huge amount of damage, as we've already seen. Then you go in for those big alpha strikes with the Glade Lord and these Wild Riders. Now, one final shout out. It's not to an item, it's in fact to a unit, which is the Loic Tricksters right here. These guys are a super cool unit I highly recommend. They're great anti-large experts, and they have a few, extra cool little abilities of their own. So apart from being, war dancers who are badass anyway, their Shadow Dance of Loic and so forth, you want to be using these 2 abilities down here. Loic's Shroud is super useful, so it gives a 24% speed increase, but also stalk and makes you unspottable. these guys are very lightly armoured, and your opponent's probably going to want to take them out, or at least keep distance with their large units. But if you pop this ability, your opponent's going to have no idea where they are, allowing you to get them perfectly to where you want them on the battlefield to take out those elite large units. They also have the Storm of Blades if you really want to risk it all for plus 26 melee attack. They do lose 27 melee defense, but if you're chucking them in and have an Eternal Guard in there as well to actually take the damage, it can be a really good ability to pop. So those are my top 5 helpful hints for the Wood Elves. Hopefully this has been useful for you guys. I'm always happy to play against people if they want to try out different builds. And also just leave any helpful hints of your own down in the description or comment section down below to allow new players to kind of learn what you've learned from about Wood Elves. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Sorry if this video has been a little bit rushed, I've been stumbling a bit and I sound a little bit dead. I'm just super ill at the moment. So my next video is probably going to be coming out on Thursday, most likely Thursday or Friday. So if you do enjoy, please do leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you do want to support, I do have a Patreon in the description down below. All money that goes into the Patreon goes straight back onto the channel in the form of DLCs and so forth. Now on the 19th, I do have my first ever tournament, which is going to be live streamed, which is called Death Before Dishonor. We're just figuring out the final competitors now, but it looks like we do have enough. But if you do want to get involved, just comment down below, and we can get you guys in as backups in case people have bad Wi-Fi connection or people drop out or just life gets in the way. So hope to see you guys soon. Peace, peace.